Hello, friends. How are you? I'm doing okay. This is kind of a slow week for us. My dad wasn't able to buy anything at auction this week. We maybe possibly have a little bit of work in a couple of days, but we won't know. I still need to take video. So I thought, well, why don't I start going through my list and try and knock one or two out? So that's what we're going to do today. This is going to be a Q&A with me. These are comments and questions that came from viewers that I thought, sometimes we just need to take a minute to respond. Let people know we do care. However, there is some bad comments in there, and the bad comments, sometimes they do need a response too. It's real easy to ignore them mostly because it's just social media, but there are some things about it that, sometimes we as YouTubers just need to respond. So let's get started. And I can't decide whether I want to start with the good or the bad. Okay, we're going to start with the bad. We're just going to get it out of the way. We're just going to jump on it, approach it head on, and be done with it. So the first question is, you have 1,000 videos and not a lot of subscribers and absolutely no views. Well, I did try to explain in my last channel update that YouTube kind of did a flip with their last algorithm update, and my views went so I thought, you know what, I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to let it fix itself. And I just stayed on the schedule of just posting 3 videos a week. Why do I have so many videos on my channel and no subscribers? I have no idea why people don't subscribe. I tell them they can subscribe, but you know what? That's their choice. If they want to subscribe, they will. If they don't, they won't. And so I try not to focus on the subscribers. Now, as for the 1,000 videos, I do a lot of vehicles. I do. And I record them all. And I have thrown some videos out because I just didn't have time to edit them. And then they sat there for 3 months on the stick. So I just said, I'm just going to record every detail. Whether or not it makes it to YouTube nowadays, that's kind of iffy. But in the first couple of years, I posted every single detail. And in our dealership, it could have been 2 or 3 details a day. I mean, we were rocking and rolling a couple of years ago. So it's not a matter of, I'm not trying to make a Hollywood production video. This is just my journey. That's what my channel is about. So the reason I have so many videos is because I recorded every single one of my details, and then I made other videos kind of like this one. You come up with video ideas, and if you get a chance to make them, you do. So anyway, that's question number 1. So question number 2, I see you're taking advantage of brands, asking them to send you free shit, and you don't even do an honest review of them. You are a joke. When I first started on the scene, I didn't know a thing about products. And I had to go and do a little bit of research. I had to go and learn what products were what were they used for, what were they good for. And I never considered myself to be a influencer or a YouTuber. I am a YouTuber, but I never considered myself to have this big name. And I certainly never expected to get to 100 subscribers, but I did. I did late last year approach some brands and ask them if they would allow me to give a couple of their products a try. I did explain that I was looking for more interior products. And a few of them said we don't really have any interior products, but they sent me some things anyway. And other products said that I could give their stuff a try. And then I have been contacted by some brands to send me some stuff. When I was in the midst of my research, something that I noticed, it's a trendy way of reviewing products, but it's also a very irresponsible way because I got no information from it at all. When you're using a product, you need to know how that's actually working. If you pull up your chair or your bucket or whatever you're sitting on to the front fender of a car and you're going to use a rinseless wash that you're reviewing and then say that it's a great product because it looked good on that fender, I don't want to be that kind of reviewer. I don't want to be that kind of review YouTuber. What I do is I put it to work and I let you see it. It's kind of like actions speak louder than words. I'm not going to sit here and fill your head with a bunch of my thoughts. I do give my thoughts, but I want my viewers to see the products in action. And my thought process is when I'm trying brands, here's the process. If your brand does not clean a dealership car, then it's not worth the money for me, and in my opinion, anybody else. So I put the product to work. I use it in ways that in some cases are unconventional. But if I'm in a position where I need to use that product in an unconventional way, that could be a learning experience for my viewers. So I do review them, but I review them in a different way. I don't just put that rinseless wash on one little fender with the camera facing it. I actually use it on the cars and let you decide. Really, it's about letting the viewers see how it works and them decide whether it's a product they want to spend their money on or not. Okay? Next, comment, question, whatever. Why do you never wear a uniform? You always wear a Hoffman thing. So unprofessional. Have you ever worn a Hoffman shirt? Have you ever actually worked in a Hoffman shirt? I'm telling you, those things can take a beating and keep on going. I wore those shirts in the industry, construction industry. For those of you who are not aware, I drove a truck, an end dump. We hauled asphalt, millings, dirt, sand, everything like that. But when you're dealing with asphalt, a lot of times you gotta use diesel to break some of that up, put it on your tailgate so it slides out. If you're hauling polymer base, that stuff is going to come out like molasses, and you get dirty and you get nasty. But man, those shirts just keep going on and on and on. They're not paying me to wear them, but they know how me and 90% of the other drivers have consistently worn Hoffman shirts because they're just good work shirts. But I don't really have a big following that is interested in my merchandise, so I'm not going to go out and buy it. And this year I made a business decision. For some reason, last year was my best year ever. But this year has turned into a nightmare. To the point I stopped advertising to customers. I'm not going to bother. The ones that have made an appointment, and I'm dead serious, 21 appointments made, 21 cancellations. And that all happened before the middle of May. And I said, okay, I am just going to stick to the dealership cars, forget it. That's just a business decision I've made. Maybe I need to take a break from all of that drama. But I still have detailing to do, and I have my part-time job. So I'm actually enjoying this job. It's very unconventional for me, and I never thought I would ever be back in that kind of field, but I did. I love it. I'm enjoying it, and so I'm not really worried about detailing for customers. Um, should I have one on for YouTube? Oh, I don't know, probably, maybe, but I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to wear my t-shirts and keep myself cool and make sure that I try not to get too dirty, but a Hoffman shirt can take it if I do. Okay, so the next question or comment, and this is one that came off of Facebook. And Facebook, I will tell you, is probably the most toxic environment, whether it be personal or anything like that. But it's also very toxic in the detailing community. The comment reads, "You would be taken more serious as a detailer if you use good detailing products. It's an embarrassment to use LA Totally Awesome." Well, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. But let me tell you something. I will use LA Totally Awesome any day. At least I know how to use it. That's what sets me apart from everybody else. I can literally go and I can go to the Dollar General and I can spend $5.95 on that gallon. And I'm going to get the same amount of cleaning solution out of that gallon that I'm going to get out of a gallon of Super Clean. I'm going to get the same amount of solution that I would get if I was to, say, buy a gallon of DIY detail. The only difference is I'm doing dealership cars, and I kind of need to save a little bit of money. Now, if a brand sends me products, and I am still working on going through a lot of the brands that have sent me products, I will use those products. My other stuff will sit in the cabinet. But then sometimes I just get a wild hair and I say, you know what? I'm just going to use the regular stuff that I typically use. When you are working for a dealership, save yourself some money and go and buy you a $5.95 gallon of LA Totally Awesome. Just remember, even if you're buying the little spray bottle that you get at the Dollar Tree or the gallon at the Dollar General, they are both sizes, concentrated, and you need to dilute them like you would any other product. Just saying. Okay, so the next question or comment is, "You aren't very smart if you haven't figured out dealerships take advantage of us. You aren't a good YouTuber trying to convince us that's good business." I've said it before, and maybe you're relatively new to my channel. The role of a detailer in a dealership is very well known. Your role is to get the car clean. A dealership's role is to sell the car and make as much money as they possibly can. In many cases, and I know this because it's my parents that are the dealers, in many cases, the difference between the auction price and the sale price can literally be $400 or $500. If you had any idea the amount of cars that go through an auction every single week and the amount of money that they want for the ugliest POS, you wouldn't be thinking that. But let's look at it from the detailer side. If you don't want to detail for a dealership, then don't. And you, for the sake of argument, don't get to tell me whether or not they're taking advantage of me. It's my parents. I'm going to stay. It's what I like doing. I do a good job at it. And I do a better job than many detailers because you have to actually go through the entire process. I can get the same result with shortcuts. So, we're just going to leave it there. Now, here's another comment, and I made a statement and it offended this guy. So in the process, this guy, he says, "You're just a spoiled brat with daddy saving your ass so you can detail. I hope everyone sees through this old lady." That is the comment that actually spawned off the idea for this video. You will never see me act like a spoiled brat. However, I am very well aware of the privilege that I have working with my parents, okay? My dad does make sure that I have everything that I need, even when I don't ask for it. But that's a choice that he has made. And you will never, ever see my behavior as a spoiled brat. Yes, he got a shop, but that was for his BMW, the black one that sat there for a year and a half. But it also gave us a good place, a good shelter, so that we could get some dealership detailing done, especially on those rainy days. And when I went to them and told them that winter was coming and I didn't think I could survive it, he really started thinking about it then. How we work things out is our business, but you will never see me act like a spoiled brat, although I admit I'm pretty spoiled. I mean, if I need $5 to run across the street to the convenience store from the shop and get a sandwich because I've been there all day, he'll give me $5. Yeah, I'm pretty spoiled, but I don't take advantage of that. And there's no reason for me to be taking advantage of it. And I am spoiled, but there's no brat here. Just saying. Okay, so let's move on to the good comments. And I kind of chose these because whether it be the person that left the comment or I felt like it was a pretty good issue that maybe I should answer it. So let's just get started and we'll just end this with the good. Okay? Chris, you have given me inspiration. I love that you are out there trying at your age. Thank you. You're welcome. And yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you feel like you can handle a detail, go for it. I mean, even if it's on the side, just, go for it. If it's something that interests you, just try it one time. Just one time. But if my being out there trying to at least survive and do a job and enjoy what I'm doing inspires somebody, then hey, that's a win. That's a win. I would rather inspire than be toxic and downgrade people, kind of like those comments that I just read. So this next question came from a YouTube viewer. Can you please explain why you won't join the rest of us in a foam wash? No offense intended, Grandma. Rinseless can only do so much. Let me be brutally honest. Rinseless can do the same thing that you can do with the foam wash. What's holding you back is the fact that other detailers and YouTubers are telling you you can't do everything with a rinseless. You can. You don't ever have to use or be devoted to a foam wash. Now, Carlos Sereno, he'll tell you, nobody ever stops and asks me for a card when I'm doing a rinseless wash, but they do when I'm doing a foam wash. If you're a mobile detailer, go for it. It's okay. I'm in a situation where rinseless was exactly what I needed for what I was doing at the time. And it just kind of stuck. And I love it. And there's nothing I can't do. And there's a few of us out here who would openly admit, even the muddy vehicles, we can do them with rinseless. Just saying. So the next question is I wanted to know if you can explain how using a sander works over a polisher. Well, when I use the sander, it's a random orbital and it has the vibration, okay? And I don't use it for correction. I only use it for enhancement. Kind of like the video that I did on my mom's car. That would be the Chrysler 200, and I used the palm sander. And the reason why is because all I was doing was allowing the pad and the product to work together and giving a little bit of extra with the palm sander. That's it. It does not render your polisher obsolete. So only use the palm sander when you're doing a buff or an enhancement. I mean, because really all you're doing is in an enhancement, it's just going over the surface a little bit. But with a palm sander, you just have to understand, you got to know your pads, okay? And I've learned my pads pretty well now, and the polishes are different. So I kind of look at what the result is when I use a particular pad and put a polish to it. And I just let them two work together with a little extra kick from the palm sander. So it does not replace a polisher. We still, and I still, have a need for my polisher. Just saying. Okay, so this next question comes from YouTube. How many ceramic coatings have you done, and do you think they are worth it? You know, that's a very interesting question. And I have noticed in the last year that a lot of people are starting to ask, is a ceramic coat really worth it? If you had to ask me on the fly and ask me for a quick answer, no, it's not. If you're going to maintain it, you can use a ceramic spray coating and be just fine. Just fine. Is it worth it? Some people feel like it's worth it. Some people feel like, yes, I need it on my car. It's going to maintain the look of my car, give it the good gloss, you know, so on and so forth. And really, when you're in the detailing business, that's what you should be working for. You should be working for the customer, okay? You should be doing what you can for your customer. Discuss the pros and the cons. And if you are not familiar with the pros and the cons, then go and do a lot of research before you decide to offer those. And the answer to your question is I have done 2. 3 if we include my pickup in Dallas. So, and I have a couple of more coming up. But that's because I want to try out a couple of products. So I hope that answers your question. Is it worth it? If you're maintaining it on the regular, no, it's not. You can put a ceramic spray coating on there and essentially for that short period of time get mostly the same results. So this next question comes from a Facebook commenter. Who are your go-to detailers when you run into trouble? Right now, obviously, there is Carlos Serrano. That is the first one that I am going to call. The other person that I'm going to holler at is going to be Humberto, which is first from Puerto Rico, and I have in the past. But I have been doing this long enough now that I don't run into a lot of problems. But when I do, I try to get multiple opinions to basically make sure that I'm on the right track. What it comes down to is now I've been doing it long enough that I can typically solve my own problems. But sometimes, like recently with this Dodge Journey, I ran into a problem and I had to call somebody and say, okay, what do you think? Because I can't leave it this way. And so we kind of went back to the old school kind of way of doing things. And for this particular car, it worked. and it worked out great. So typically I'm going to go to Carlos or Humberto. There are other people that I have asked, but for the most part, I've been in it long enough now and kind of figured everything out that I don't run into trouble on the regular like I used to. My first year, every single car I was running into trouble. And that all comes from not having the time under your belt. And this is another reason why I tell people you should get into dealership work in the beginning so that you can learn, because you will learn a lot and you will learn it fast. It will also help you in the real world to solve some of those problems or troubleshoot it on your own and be able to get through it in a timely fashion. So here is another comment, or it's a question actually, and this comes from YouTube. Why have we not seen you in other chats lately, Grandma? I saw you in one chat recently comment, and at that time I realized you hadn't been around. So I thought I would ask if everything is okay. Everything's okay. Last year, I was treated disrespectfully. See, up until a year ago, I was doing everything I could. I used every minute of my free time to go and watch other people's videos. And I would go hang out with all the big crowds and all of that. I would go hang out with the in crowd. You know, the crowd you have to be a part of, otherwise you're a nobody. Well, I am somebody. And last year I made a decision that needed to be made. And that decision was give what I get. If those people are not willing to come to my channel and take the time like I did for them, liking their video, commenting on their video, giving it the view that it deserved, regardless of who it was, if I wasn't going to get that back, I was going to stop doing that. And that's what was happening. They were not coming to my channel. They didn't watch my videos. They didn't like my videos or whatever. And whether it's because they had no time or whatever is neither here nor there. The fact is, they were never seen on my channel after a certain amount of time. So I don't go hang out with people who don't have time for me. I don't have time for them. That's a really harsh way of looking at it, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I just don't have time or whatever. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you the honest to goodness truth. I'm going to give what I get. And that includes people that don't have channels and don't make videos. If they don't have time to come and hang out on my channel, I don't have time to go hang out with them on another channel, in another chat. So I made that decision late last year, and it's progressively gotten worse early this year. And I just said, no more. So I go where my view and my time there on their channel is appreciated. Carlos is always going to be the first one I go watch. And the reason why is because in a real sense, he's become a part of my family. He is, you know, my kids and him are cousins now. And I consider him a son. He's the same age as my daughter, and I consider him a son. He's a part of my family, and I love the relationship that we have. And so I'm definitely going to be there. If, you know, people like Humberto and Jamie and Nate and John and all of those people had channels, I'd be at theirs. And the reason why is because they come to mine. And so I want to be a part of a crowd that wants me to be a part of their crowd. And if I don't feel like I'm a part of their crowd, then I'm going to stay over here in my lane. And that will only change if they come to my lane. But, if I see that, I'm just not a important part of their world, then I'm not going to make them an important part of mine. And I hope that you can understand my answer. But thank you for the question anyway. And then this last question came from YouTube. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to write that down, and I am going to include it in my video. What are your plans for YouTube going forward? I have reached a point of, I don't know. I have backed down on the amount of videos that I've been posting. I still feel like the algorithm is working against me. Maybe that's just a selfish way to look at it, but I do feel that way, especially with that last update they did in the spring. It did it. I would post a video and I'd get 20 views, and I'm like, this is not really worth my time. And of course, when you start to feel like it's not worth your time, you know that you need to back off a little bit. Now, saying that, I don't think I'll quit, but I'll continue to put some videos up if I have ideas. But if there comes a time where I don't have a lot of details and, stuff like that, there may be some days missed. And to me, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But I don't really have any solid plans. I'm not really going to try to overdo it. I'm going to stick with the schedule as it is, which is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And if there's a video, great. If not, on the other side, we do plan on continuing the weekend lives. My live videos are not necessarily about detailing. They're really about hanging out, shooting the breeze, getting to know each other, making new friends. And I've made so many new friends on YouTube. It's amazing. And, the excitement of being able to see those people when you go live is and then they show up, you're like, oh, it's so good to see you. So I'll probably continue my lives, and my weekend lives with my daughter will probably continue as well. And what we do is we just kind of shoot the breeze, and then we do our coloring. But we're just hanging out, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. That's really it. So anyway, thanks for hanging out on my channel, guys. I sure do appreciate it. I hope that if you had any questions, that maybe it was one of those and I answered you. As for those who have left rough comments, I'm not going to sit here and give you the woke thought. Be nice, be kind. Those are all good things. But in the end, just expect that I might pick your comment and blast you on a YouTube video one day and probably tell you, if you don't like what Grandma's doing on Detail Grandma's channel, you can hit the door, and don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. It's that simple. And so for everybody else who left good comments and genuine questions, thank you. I appreciate that. It kind of makes me feel good that maybe I've come up a little ways, that, maybe something that I'm doing is striking your curiosity. You know what I mean? So until the next video, friends, thank you. And you know how it goes. Peace.